Parent handbooks are good for parents because they tell them what to expect when their child attends the center or the program. The handbook contains information about how the children will be educated, what meals will be provided, as well as the staff's makeup and educational background. I looked at the handbooks from the Children's Center in Hilton Head and the Cross Preschool in Bluffton. The Children's Center. What I liked about the Children's Center Parent Handbook includes the fee policy is clearly explained. It provides the information about submitting the children's records required by the state of South Carolina, and the handbook explains the Children's Center enrollment procedures. I also understand how little children can be so picky, so I like the fact that the handbook contains menu substitutions for the child's meal. The thing I like most about the parent handbook is that it explains how the children are supervised and talks about how the center cares for the health of the children and makes sure they are safe. I also like the fact that the handbook is clear, and I think parents appreciate that the handbook contains facts like the Children's Center arrival and departure times and the written criteria for what's required and when a child is out ill and they want to come back. What I did not like about the Children's Center Parent Handbook was that it had too much information and it felt very negative at times. I also didn't like the fact the $10 fee a minute if a parent is late to pick up. I didn't think some of the reasons listed under administrative withdrawal related to meeting a child's needs were fair, but I could see how they could be necessary at times. What I think is missing in the Children's Center Parent Handbook is information about the program for infants 2 to 2 years of age and toddlers 2 to 3 years of age. Information about the program for children ages 3 to 5 years of age, and information about school get students who get help after school. The mission statements could be more parent-friendly instead of just explaining policies and procedures. There is a lot of information that is missing about the quality care and early education at the Childhood Center. The Cross Preschool Parent Handbook. What I like about the Cross Preschool Parent Handbook is that it has a photo of all the kids and the teachers on the cover. The picture shows that the pre-kindergarten class is dressed the same as the preschool class. They look like one big happy family. The Parents Handbook talks about the child beginning his/her school career at Cross Schools. I like the fact that the handbook explains that each student is given a 4-week introductory period to make sure that the Cross Preschool is the right school for their child. It talks about that during this time, a conference is held to discuss the child's first 4 weeks. The handbook also provides information about the anxiety a child can have saying goodbye. I know this can be hard for young children. I also like that the Cross Preschool doesn't charge late pickups. I thought the Children's Center was harsh. I like the fact that the handbook talks about taking care of the children, of the child and discipline. It's described as a positive way to build self-control and self-discipline. There is also a binding policy contained in the discipline techniques. I think it's good that the handbook says that a sick child can be isolated but will not be left alone, since the safety policy states that no child should be left alone. The handbook also talks about the management of communicable diseases and have an emergency medical plan for children and staff trained in CPR/first aid to help until emergency medical services arrive. I think it's good that the handbook states that children should not bring junk food in their lunch. What I didn't like about the Cross Preschool Parent Handbook is that it didn't have information about the disciplinary techniques used at the preschool. I didn't like it had no information about the curriculum, and it didn't provide a website so parents could look up and see what's happening with their child. I also didn't like the fact that the handbook didn't explain what cross preschool expected from the parent and child. There were no parent standards. What I think is missing in the Cross Preschool Parent Handbook includes the parent handbook should have more information about the preschool curriculum needed to be ready for kindergarten. The parent handbook should have more information about the faith-based curriculum. General licensing information is missing in the Cross Preschool Parent Handbook. The state rules and regulations for child care should be given to all parents. The parent handbook does not state that the Cross Preschool meets state standards for curriculum.